I think you're right. It's a really broad topic, and I feel that some of it has been mentioned in the sense that we were talking about this difference between overseas development assistance and what we're calling new and additional funds. So there's been a lack of transparency in terms of, when a country A from a developed country says we're going to spend 40 billion on climate finance, it's not certain whether that 40 billion is new money or old money, if I can put it that way. So we need to have some kind of common tabular ways of reporting so that we can understand where are these monies coming from. Are they monies that are already being earmarked as overseas development assistance, or are they new and additional funding? So I think that is where the transparency issue lies. We haven't had a clear perspective in terms of how do you kind of demarcate the borderline between ODA and new and additional funding, especially with regard to adaptation projects, because many adaptation projects are considered in many ways as development projects. So that's where the issue of transparency comes from. Developed countries have not been able to show with sufficient evidence whether the monies they're putting into adaptations are monies that can be considered as new. There's a lot of adaptation projects that have been done with a number of development agencies. My sense is that what we need to do is to see how we ramp this up, how we scale it up, how we make it more impactful. There are projects that have been done to help farmers basically in terms of seasonal forecasting so that they can have the information available on time and be able to say, okay, this is what we're going to expect from this year in terms of rains or no rains. And on the basis of that information, decide the kind of cultivars that they would want to produce or plant so that at least they can prepare themselves better. So I think projects are there. There are ideas in terms of how farmers can be less vulnerable, how they can use drought-resistant crops as well, how they can take advantage of waters that may not be available all throughout the year, etc., etc. A lot of projects on the ground are happening by many development agencies. But for me, the issue is not so much about what is happening at the micro level, it's how we scale this up to an extent that many other countries, many other vulnerable groups, are able to take advantage of these projects and graduate from the smallness of these projects to something big.